In the hills of Northumbria, England, stands a centuries-old fortress, an oppressive stronghold haunted by a history of torture and bloodshed, and aptly named Chillingham Castle.
It's a wonderful castle. Take a photograph of it.
An author, yeah, they're having an author come and comment on this. Yeah, they're definitely not going to take any creative liberties or try and make it spookier than it really is. They're going to give an objective, neutral view on this entire situation.
You show it to people and you say, oh, I visited Chillingham. Isn't it a beautiful castle? It's a horrible killing machine.
Called the home of the torturers, at least 23,000 people met their deaths in the castle dungeon.
Many have witnessed things. They've seen shapes. Things touch them.
Many, I'll have you know, many people see shapes. I think you mean shadows and things of that nature. Like, can you imagine just being... Can you imagine being in a castle and seeing, like, a circle and just shitting your pants? Just, holy fuck! Like a third grader or something. Just, like, you see a little rectangle. Like, that would be more supernatural than paranormal. You know what I mean? That'd be more like, oh, is there a floating block somewhere? I'd be more curious at that point. I'm sorry, it's not nice to make fun of this man for using the language he chose to use. It's creative and funny, and he's adding to it. It's just hilarious.
They feel things inside. Things touch them. They feel things inside.
I think we all feel things inside, Alan. I think you do too. It's not a crazy... It's not necessarily proof of a ghost that a person locked in a horrible castle where tortures did happen in the 1600s or whatever they're about to tell us would feel creeped out or scared. Like, you're going to be more open to suggestion and fear in these situations. Of course, like, that's not... Come on. I know it's writing and storytelling and it's for entertainment purposes, but, like, come on.
Supernatural events
Oh,
have been...
that's the sound of do 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 do. Like, all these sounds are ringing bells, but that was the sound that scared me the most. When I heard her talking over this, and don't da 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 do, just on like a MIDI, that scared the piss out of me. I don't know why, it was so spooky.
Reported here for 800 years.
For the time, that's honestly a pretty sick drone shot. Like, that's pretty good. I love this slice of life we get to see. It's like a murder doc, right? It's like, this family had super high contrast video taken of them in their hometown with the old people and families at the hay festival. Now they're gonna be terrified. What did she just say?
My name is Kim Olson, and I'm a medical assistant for 2 OB-GYN doctors.
My name is David Olson, and I'm a firefighter and paramedic.
I'm Katie Egger. I work for my dad, who's a State Farm agent in Chicago.
It's funny how they use the spooky font. Katie!
My name's Jared.
Jared!
And I've been salesman here for about a year.
What does Jared do?
Egger. And I've been salesman here for about a year.
Kelly.
I'm Kelly Egger, and my profession is a student.
Wow, this might be it. This might...
They just didn't really know what to tell her to do. Like, my profession is a student. You could have just directed her and said, just say you're a student. Just like, I'm currently in school for blah, blah, blah. Like, they didn't direct her very well.
Be exciting, scary.
It's like, oh, this is going to be so cool.
So I finally, out of all my kids, I conned 3 of them into it.
I said, oh, sure, I'd do it. But I never thought that we'd come to this.
We get a phone call. They want us. All of a sudden, they're like starting to backpedal. It's like, oh my God, what has she got us into?
And I'm like, well, I don't know.
So there's no turning back now. I'd upset a lot of people if I said no, and there's no way I'll do that.
I'm kind of scared too, because I keep hearing more and more things about how it's really scary, and I'm I'm like, oh no.
Kind of a show me kind of guy. If there's something there, I'd be willing to accept it, more so if I was actually shown that there was something there.
There's something.
I like Dave. I think Dave seems like a pretty straight and narrow guy. He seems positive. He deals with horrific situations, being a paramedic and a firefighter. He seems like an all around dude. His enthusiasm is what's really attracting me to liking him. Now Kim, on the other hand, she admitted she conned her family into doing this, so she's a little sneaky. She's a little rambunctious. So I think she's probably gonna get the scariest time of them all.
Out there.
I would definitely say my mom's the bravest.
Oh, I like adventure. Probably a little too much.
She always like gets scared. She's like, ooh. She wants to be scared, you know, and it's exciting to her. So I'm sure she'll be just thrilled to death.
The bravest I would have to say is David.
I'd say it would be me, but it probably depends upon what we get into.
I think I'm braver than he is.
I'm a fireman. I gotta be brave.
And you know, they're all scared. But probably if I had to like name one of them.
Why did they use that shot right then and there? Yo, whoever wrote this is hilarious. Okay, I was talking shit before, but this is hilarious. This is objectively funny.
Yes.
They got this dude, they got this brave firefighter with all this enthusiasm, and he just got a shot of his wife saying, I think I'm braver than him. And he's just sitting there crying his eyes out. Like, you're making him sound like he's whimpering. Come on, dude. Oh, let's watch it again. That was good.
I'm a fireman. I gotta be brave.
And you know, they're all scared. But
Fireman, I gotta be brave, and he's just sitting there about to start crying. That's so disrespectful, man. Come on. Oh my god, I didn't think this was gonna actually make me laugh. That's hilarious. I'm loving this. It's a good time. Man, that. As a child, it's like, this is very scary, so I have to keep watching this to see if these people are okay. As an adult, knowing that none of this probably ever really happened. Like this, they probably did really put him in the castle, but I'm sure there's caveats and spooky stuff. I'm sure they banged together some thunder crash sounding, metal boards like drama kids use in plays and stuff. Not drama kids, just theater people do, but they know how to keep the adults entertained, because just see that dude crying. That's pure comedy right there. I have to give them that. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
probably if I had to like name one of them, I think I'd go with Kate.
Scared. I wake up every morning scared, more scared than I was the day before.
Katie's already...
Okay, now I'm kind of concerned for Katie. She didn't say it because of the ghost stuff. She said, I'm scared. I wake up every day more scared than before. Like, if there's some sort of oncoming, like, evil or pain in your life that you're just afraid. She's just scared of the world. I feel bad for Katie. Oh my god. Why would you put her in this situation? What the heck?
And she hasn't left yet.
They're having a going away party for us. But
okay, it seems the context may be for the show, but that's kind
we're
of
coming
funny.
back.
Jared's like, don't even talk about it. I get scared just thinking of it.
If I was scared, I would put her in front of me and kind of hold her and hide.
And then if there's like a noise, he'll turn me towards the noise. And then like, there's noise over here and he'll turn me this way.
If I have to protect her, I will. Let's go. Fear more than anything is the unknown.
It's just like overwhelms you and you really don't know why.
It gets everything.
Is that his wife or his sister? I forget. I know one of them is a sibling, and I think the two girls that are there are married. I think he is her husband, and the main older people's son. He's just gonna throw his wife at the danger. Like, come on, dude. That's
Thing in your body going.
If I have to protect her, I will. But otherwise, if I don't have to, she's fully on her own. I had a good laugh at Dave's expense. I'm sorry, Dave.
You can't have that much evil in one place without it showing itself somehow, some way. They say that this is the place where God chose to look the other way.
I wanted to find a reason to say the vibes are off, but now he just gave it to me again. God looked at this place, saw all the torture, and said, I don't know, the vibes are off here.
Coming up, the Olsons get close. closer
In episodes to come, I thought they were going to happen on this episode. They see now they're trying to attract you to come back and watch this stuff.
to their night of terror. The dark secrets of Chillingham Castle.
Chillingham is the epitome of evil. It's the home of the torturers.
The old
You know, now that I'm watching this and I'm seeing them say it's going to be in coming episodes, it's starting to kind of come back to me. I think they only show portions in each episode for each season or something. Like, I'm just putting that together because it makes sense for one season to have like a part of this episode, a part of that episode of the full experience these people went through to keep you watching the other episodes. But now it's starting to come back to me that's probably why I thought, oh, these families all go here all the time. It's like, no, this one family went there and they stretched it into 5 episodes or one season. I mean, I don't think the whole series, all 5 seasons are that, that little amount of, hey, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of that for the Chillingham Castle family, Old Doyles or whatever their names are episode. I think it's just once per season. That would make more sense. But now I get why I always thought they were in that same castle, because I always saw the fire. And at one point, I hopefully I can make this into a series and show you. I'm pretty sure at one point one of them picks up a torch and walks through or something. I don't know. Not like a heroic thing, just to see, basically.
face their worst fears.
You can't have that amount of viciousness without it leaving a stain.
Will they have second thoughts?
I think they had second thoughts far before they got there.
A 1-hour special. Will the family survive Chillingham Castle?
So it's a 1-hour special.
Home, generally thought to be the one place in the world we feel most protected and secure. But after the sanctity of an Iowa house was ripped apart by a horrific crime, this once safe family dwelling wasn't so safe anymore.
Villisca, Iowa.
The people in Iowa are good people. We all care about each other. We look after each other. Villisca is a beautiful town. But like all small towns, we got our secrets.
The house.
What happened that night in that house? Nobody deserves to die like that.
That something about her shot specifically is so cinematographic, whatever the word is. It's shot so well. It's like she's in a movie, but the rest of it's just a TV show. Like, it's almost like those old games in the 90s that were all videos. Like, every video game's a video to some extent. But I mean, the ones that were like video AMV files or something, and like she's like the shot on this looks like she's like the main person telling you the mission and the quest, and like you have to go through the game, and now it all looks like different. I don't know. Something about it is very like retro, older game type of look to it. Like she's so crystal clear compared to everyone else.
Speaking of that house, why didn't they just let it go? Why did somebody have to decide to fix it up?
In 1994, Darwin Lynn bought the house and began restoring it.
After I started working on the house, I did have people have experiences in the house. The pantry seems to have, I don't know what.
Hold on. I did have people have experiences in the house, and he has a spooky little ghost salt shaker. Something doesn't add up here.
The pantry seems to have, I don't know what it is. There's a force or something there that creates a real cold. The hair stands up on their arms.
Yeah, it couldn't be all the porcelain in there and the open window.
Oh, I'd never been in the house at night.
In a wooden house.
By myself. And I've never had any desire to stay in the house. There's something there.
I've never had a desire to stay in the house, yet you built it back up from when it got destroyed.
Paranormal investigator Dave Christensen examined the house.
whoever this is absolutely going to be a treat, I'm sure.
We've noticed that a lot of times when people move into old...
Yep, it's got a paranormal investigation sticker on his van. He's got his little cowboy hat on. Yep, and he's got a corporation behind it. Here we go.
Old houses and start restoring them or remodeling them. A lot of times it awakens a spirit. The first reaction downstairs was fairly normal, just a regular house. The living room and the kitchen were normal. We went upstairs to the second floor. The second floor was really, really cold. I had an uneasy feeling.
Monday morning, the 10th of June, 1912, the local town marshal came and went through the house, and he found two girls in the northwest bedroom over here, their heads chopped off with an axe, and found husband and wife, Joe and Sarah Moore, and then in the south bedroom, the 4 children. They were all killed in the same way. All of them were apparently asleep when they were struck. The killer had picked up an axe in the backyard. All the victims were hit in the head from the chin up.
Well, that's how you behead people, isn't it?
The 2 adults had been just repeatedly struck. His face was just scooped out, everything was gone, and there were bits and pieces of bone and hair mixed in the bedding. The other one who had been struck most often was the wife, and she had been struck primarily with the blade of the axe, so that the first cuts were above the chin, but the face had been somewhat...
Again, I must ask, why would somebody not use the blade of the axe to cut somebody's head off if they beheaded 4 people? Like, is he suggesting that they use the blunt end of it to make these people suffer or concuss them or something, so he could kill the kids too? I was a little hazy, the description on this. It's a little. I don't know. It seemed a little silly here.
Reduced to slices almost.
Some people were crying, some were just quiet, like in shock, I guess. Seemed like they were all scared to death, because it made no sense. Could have been them. I was good friends with the 2 little girls, Lena and Catherine. I saw them the morning before a Sunday school. Then all of a sudden, they were gone.
So if they died in 1912, and I'm starting to feel a little skeptical, because if they got killed in 1912, they died in 1912. This lady, this is like 2000 when this was filmed. This lady had to have been like 100 years old, and I don't know. My grandmothers were born. I have a grandmother who was born in like 1929. And this lady looks way younger than my grandmom did when she was still around. May she rest in peace. When she was like 80. So I feel like this lady's like no more than 70 years old. It's kind of... So I'm not adding up here.
It's knowing what happened, knowing what was in there. And when you go in and you sit in the dark, you can feel it. It just consumes you.
Dave Christensen videotaped ghostly orbs around the beds, which he believes are the victims' spirits.
Orbs, an orb guy. Definitely not a fly or dust.
Lena? An orb, sometimes you can see them, most of the time you can't. Some of them are blue, some are red, some are orange. Different colors of light. Why they're that way, I don't know. It could be because of...
It certainly couldn't be dust. Also, as far as orbs go, why would a spirit come back in the form of an orb, right? And here's my logic. If people can claim to see spirits in windows from far away vantage points at nighttime, why then do other spirits sometimes come back as orbs that float downwards or float across in a weird upward angle above where anybody would be normally walking, or in a downward angle where no one would really be, like their center of mass would not be there. Their center of mass would be chest height. This is always orbs going to the ground or above in the sky. Why would those orbs be there? In this situation, sure, the house has been remodeled. Maybe I'm wrong. But why would they appear as orbs when they can also apparate or appear as full-bodied apparitions sometimes? Like, what's the science behind that, you know? It's okay.
Essence of the body that is being transmitted through the air.
In 1970.
But the air doesn't have like electricity in it, you know what I mean? Like that can form from like lightning strikes, but there's no energy in the air. There's just wind pushing it. You know what I mean? Is there energy in air? I don't think there is. Okay. So before we move on, I was wrong. There is some, I don't have like a reliable source. I just Googled it. One site said air always is charged with energy because the earth is negative and the atmosphere is positive or something. And another one said there is energy in the air at 700 millijoules or whatever. So I was wrong. There is energy in the air. I take that back. But still, if there is energy in the air, now my question is, why not just make a full body apparition on camera? Got to think.
No one was ever charged with the crime.
They never caught who did it. But there was that photograph that was taken the day before. He was a stranger. But when I look at that photograph, see that man's face, I get a chill.
That looks like a photo that was used on BuzzFeed Unsolved at one point, where the guy was a family friend that they knew. I don't think it was directly the Lizzie Borden axe thing. I think it was another axe thing. I'm pretty sure, because there was another guy present in the Lizzie Borden axe killing that looked like an old gruff man with a big beard. I swear, I think that photo, I think they're doctoring some of this information.
Paranormal activity increased as Dave Christensen continued his investigation.
A newspaper reporter from Shenandoah was here. We were showing her around, and she was getting ready to go into the attic. And she opened the attic door, and she went to step in, and something physically pushed her back.
I tried to walk into this room, and I just couldn't do it. I felt like there was some kind of invisible wall in my way, blocking me from entering that room. I don't know if it was emotional or what it was, or just fear, but I just felt like I couldn't go into this room.
A lot of people think he got in the house when they were at church, and that he hid in the pantry or the attic. But one thing was sure, he was there, waiting for them to fall asleep.
One of the first evenings we were here up in the attic, kind of a creepy, eerie feeling for a good 45 minutes to an hour. It felt like something passed by me. And right after it did, it went bolting past Dave and down the stairway. And it just felt like just an ice cold breeze going through the whole house.
I've always been spooked by that house, especially after the restoration. It's just a feeling.
She's a good actress. I guarantee she's like no more than 82 years old. I'm willing to say probably did not know the young girls who lived there in 1912, but is just fits the role really well. Like, I feel like they just hired her to tell this part of the story.
Some in the list could believe
this is some things have been modified for storytelling at the beginning that we saw.
Restoration of the house stirred up more than the victim's spirits. They believe the spirit of the killer has also returned.
That's another thing. So the spirit of the killer, he didn't die there, because the killer is dead, right? Unless it was the father and he killed himself somehow, which doesn't make much sense. He would be able to, pull it off probably. Why would the killer die and presumably he got away, right? Why would the killer die in a full other state and then just come back and be like, oh, well, I'm haunted by the killing and I have to keep haunting this house and be a part of this murder, this grisly murder that I committed? Like, he would be a ghost where he died, wouldn't he? Like, that I don't know. Unless the paranormal world is just like a like a flashback of sorts that you have to keep reliving. It just doesn't make sense.
When you're in there and he's in there and he's around you, you can feel him. You can hear him moving around. You can start feeling the energy build. You can start feeling your heart beat faster. Start getting more.
They're really trying to pin it on this old man. He might just be a guy, man. You might just be defiling this man's reputation at this point.
More nervous, more anxious. You start wanting just to get out.
Like, what if that old man didn't do it? What if he just took a picture? How is this man in the picture a stranger if you have your little daughters taking pictures with him? How is he a full, complete stranger? And then you're offering to, at the time, taking photos and using photographic, technology to take photos was very obscenely expensive, most likely. So why would you waste the equivalent of like $100 or probably like $20 on a picture with some random stranger at your farm with your 2 daughters in dresses? That's
Lost
weird.
its innocence that night in 1912. You're never safe in your own bed, in your own house, in your own town.
Coming up next.
Something here that is inhuman.
That wide angle was just too much for me. They just the stretch of that was too fun.
An exorcism in England.
I command all evil spirits to leave this house.
It's not good at all.
I remember them. Oh my god, I remember watching and seeing that old couple go in England. Like, I feel like they're just saying up next, but it's in the series, not in the actual up next on this episode, because we've got, 10 minutes left? They're not going to cover 2 different stories at once. And they also keep using creepy, growling noises and stuff like that. That's why it's so scary when you're a kid. This is just it's spooky, but it's it's kind of corny now. I don't know.
It's commonly thought that only people can become possessed by evil spirits. But as was discovered in the small hamlet of Haydenbridge, England, places can also become possessed.
Can places become possessed? I don't know. Can inanimate objects become possessed? Well, there is Annabelle, but I don't know. A house a demon the size of a house? I don't know.
In 1991, the village of Haydenbridge, England was shaken by a terrifying event. A home in the village was said to be possessed by demonic forces. An exorcism was believed to have driven the evil spirit from the home. In 1999, a family ignored the stories of demonic possession and moved to Haydenbridge.
In 1999, a family moved to one of the only homes they could afford and were tried to be spooked off by people saying it was possessed, but they could only literally afford this one home.
We had heard some stories about the place being haunted, but we'd been a bit of a skeptic. Never believed in anything like that. We bought the hotel in November of last year, and nothing really happened for the first 3-4 months, but then things started happening. Elaine and I.
The ghosts are all on timers. They need to make sure you stick around so they can keep haunting you, and so that they know you'll be a staple in this household before they can reveal themselves. Like, that happens with every ghost story. Everything was normal for 3 or 4 months, and then we got paranoid. I think that's the explanation of every ghostly occurrence. Is like, things started happening after 3 months, 3 years, 6 months, 3 weeks. It's never day one the ghost starts haunting them. It's, we moved our stuff in, we got comfortable, and we started hearing creaks in the night, and then things got spooky. It's like, come on. Your house is not settling or anything, or you're not just... The excitement of having home ownership didn't just wear off. I don't know.
I was sitting in the sofa one night watching television, and the door opened and the sofa moved about 3 inches towards the TV with us both sitting on it.
There's a smell. You get a smell.
that would have usually scared me, knowing, oh, the door opened and it moved 3 inches. That is scary. But I want to see if they have wooden floors, because no matter how heavy a piece of furniture is, if it has good padding on the feet on the bottom, it doesn't matter how many people are sitting on it. You're not, you don't weigh a megaton even together, so it can probably scooch a little bit. Like if you're on your butt and you just get up and scooch real quick to go check the door that mysteriously opened, even though I live in a house where a door literally opens because I've tested it, and it's because the weather changes, and in the summer it gets hotter, so it expands, and then the winter it shrinks down, so it's easier to open. Like, come on. Or harder to open, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
At the top of the stairs, and it lasts for seconds and then disappears and then comes back again.
Smells are such like you could have walked up the stairs and kicked up something that was there, no matter how much you vacuumed. Like, there could be a part of the rug that has like a little bit of like leftover food sniff from it, and then it's just there. Like, come on.
The possessing spirits seem to be drawn to the youngest child.
Our son started seeing shadows in his bedroom. They will look like people.
Yeah, your son started seeing shadow people. It surely wasn't his imagination after his parents started freaking out and thinking there were ghosts in the house, and made his imagination run wild.
They had head and shoulders. He could hear them breathing and see them breathing. There's got to be something. And we believe that it's something here that is inhuman.
I think it's a ghost.
Desperate for answers, the family sought help from paranormal experts.
It's typical of many of the buildings that we go in that are haunted, simply because it's made of
Hey, the
stone.
Warrens! I know them, if that's really them.
It's typical of many of the buildings that we go in that are haunted.
Yeah, these are the guys who like are the people in the Annabelle series, or the other series, not Paranormal Activity. It's the other series that's like the house that they move into is haunted, and the guy who kind of looks like the dude, he kind of looks like Chris Pine and Chris. I don't remember his name. He kind of looks like Chris Pine and not Chris Pratt mixed together a little bit. But he's in the spooky movies, you know what I mean? I don't remember. But yeah, that's cool that they're in this.
Simply because it's made of stone. Stone is like a microchip. It holds in the vibrations of the people that lived here for hundreds of years.
These old places act as magnets, and they draw entities in.
The parents in this case are doing a very wise thing, and they have temporarily moved the children out of the family while the discussion about this situation is going on.
Whatever is here has taken over our life. It's just a horrible sense that you're being watched or being followed.
What was the first thing that happened that really caused you some concern?
When our son had wakened up about 3:30 one morning, I went through and lay down beside him till he went to sleep, and I was just lying watching him as he fell asleep, and there was just a dark shadow passed in between us, and I just could not see him, even though I was only 6 inches from him, and the room just went icy cold.
There is certainly evidence here that there is something beyond the realm of just the human element that is in this home.
To me, it's oppressive. There is an oppressive feeling.
It doesn't feel like the energy of a small child's room. It's not good at all. Not good at all.
The investigators suspected that the paranormal
They told that guy in the suit, just like add a little pepper to it, make it interesting.
activity was linked to the hotel's history as a 15th century courthouse.
The courthouse was, in actual fact, the dining room area of the Anchor Inn.
What is now the hotel parking lot was once a gallows.
People were hung out where the car park was. We know of at least 2, but there's probably many more.
A lot of folk who were hanged were also decapitated.
Many of them were innocent. And they would curse their executioners. Areas can be cursed. We know that for a fact.
I can tell that this dog is disturbed.
What did they ADR the dog in? He has like a weird hollow like echo.
The dog has been awake all night long.
You can tell by the way that dog's mouth is moving that he is not whimpering. He's just kind of walking around chilling. Like they ADR'd in another dog whimpering. That's why it sounds like that. He's just kind of like, why are you pointing the camera at me? You still pointing that camera at me?
Because it's frightened of something that's here. Animals have a very
That German Shepherd is not afraid of anything in that household.
high degree of sensitivity, and it is visible to him. He can feel it, he can sense it. It's making him terribly uneasy.
That night in the hotel, the war.
How much are, all right, one, I wonder if this is really the Warrens, because they're like pretty respected in this community. Two, if it is them, I wonder how much they got paid to do this, because that dead look in her eyes was like, okay, we had some spooky stuff happen in the Amityville Horror. That's what it was. That's the movie also. The guy who looks like Chris Pratt. He doesn't really look like Chris Pine. I don't know why. I think his name is Chris something. That's why I got him confused. But yeah, her dead look in her eyes tells me like, yeah, some spooky stuff happened with the Amityville Horror, and Annabelle is a scary little ragdoll thing. This is just kind of like run-of-the-mill. People are afraid of their house. Like, you can tell she's not really bought into it. They just have her here because they had it in their budget. They're like, the Warrens are known. We'll pay them $10,000 to do this or something. There's something there.
Warrens encountered what they believe was the demonic spirit.
I can feel somebody touching my arm. And it's pushing right against the covers. Right now, it's pushing right against the covers.
Is it still pushing?
No, I don't feel it as much right now at all.
3 o'clock is very important to us. That's the devil's hour. Anything that comes in threes is an insult to the Trinity. Anybody tells you a ghost can't hurt you, they don't know what they're talking about. And I believe what we have here is something extremely evil. And the only way you can get rid of that is through what we call the rites of exorcism.
Just a little toilet side reading, but very important.
And I want it to be known that I am not an exorcist. I've had to do this in emergencies. I consider this an emergency.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
I hate that they did the little 3D effect to make the wife look like she was possessed and there was a ghost of her coming up, because that would fool a kid into being absolutely shitting themselves, terrified.
Pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
I command you, every unclean spirit, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that you come out and depart from this family, from this home. In the name of Jesus Christ, bless you. In the name of the saints, bless you. Command all evil spirits to leave this dwelling, to leave this family in peace. In the name of Jesus Christ, and the blood of Christ, the martyrs and the saints, command all evil spirits to leave this house, to leave this family in peace.
Also, I didn't want to say it when it was happening because I thought they were going to do it again. That shot where it was pulling the camera out and it was like, and it was like the demon is leaving now. That was 100%. That has to be like a version of Linda Blair's audio from The Exorcist. Like that. This has to be a show that is funded or tied in to The Exorcist itself and the guy who made The Exorcist, because he's done some funky stuff in the last few years. Like this has to be like his next move. I want to know now if he produced this show.
Mr. Charles Morton attempted to contact benign spirits to aid in the exorcism.
Now, once you link, you'll find that the energy level will start to rise. Dear Father, once again, we make supplication on behalf of a family who have suffered disturbance and upset. And so we say, to God our praise. Amen.
Amen.
An ancient spirit make its presence known.
Greetings, brothers. This is White Cloud, and I give my blessing to all those who work in the name of the Almighty. We give you thanks for your wish to bring that sweet harmony and balance back into this family.
Moments later, another spirit came.
Now, come on. You had me till then, but come on. So the guy who made the exorcising, his name is William Friedkin. I'm gonna look it up now and see after this if it's he had to have produced this, because that. Come on, no. I am the White Cloud. Come on, dude.
Forward.
This is Jeremy. Thank you all, and take our love and blessing as we join with you in asking to restore the love and harmony for the family.
Why would a demon want to restore love and harmony for the family? Unless it's like an angel they're talking to. Like, why can we speak to the evil spirits but we can't speak to good spirits or God? Come on. There's no way.
Dear, they don't often do that.
Okay.
This dude's either going under a major psychosis or he's just an A-list actor. Like, not A-list, but he's like, he's the guy to go to for spooky stuff. To make spooky things seem real.
You certainly don't have to be psychic to realize that there is a great weight kind of relieved in this area.
By dawn, the exorcism was over. Again, it seemed the town of Hayden Bridge had been purged of its evil spirits.
It's just a hotel, not the whole town.
There'll always be that fear.
The experience was so disturbing the family sold the Anchor Hotel.
I bet they didn't.
We're frightened here. We're leaving. Leaving here. We just don't want to be here.
It's very good and all, but I'm sure they were all actors.
Scariest places on earth.
There's definitely a God, and there's definitely a devil.
Confronting the angry demons.
Show me a sign that you are here.
There's definitely a God, but they don't talk to us as much as the devil does. The devil loves talking to us. Even though God loves us, apparently, they hate talking to us. I gotta see the creature.
Did you hear something?
Oh, the Jersey Devil episode was pretty good.
Trapped under the streets of Paris.
I actually remember the Jersey Devil episode. That one I'm going to definitely watch. That was pretty good. There was like a whole team of people, and the one chick who runs the team ran out or something. That was crazy. Alright, I want to run it.
I'm Linda Blair.
That was the first episode of the Scariest Places on Earth, and I've got to say, a lot cornier than I remember. It looks like realistic for the time for early 2000s, but like now I see it like, oh, of course this would terrify me as a child. It's scary. They put scary stuff in there on purpose to scare you, and a lot of it is dramatization. So now it's like they're not going to tell you what's real and what's not, so you're kind of just like, okay. Like that dude doing the exorcism speaking, 100% dramatized. That was not real. I'm willing to bet any amount of money on that. Or he was, like I said, going through like a major psychosis, or said, you know what, I'm going to ham it up. This show's going to do well, you know? But still definitely really cool to watch. Let me know what you guys think. If you think this is pretty cool, I'll keep watching these. I'm going to probably post this and a couple others and keep just kind of going here. Or if this would be better, I wonder if this would be better as like a live streaming type of content, but I don't have a lot of followers on Twitch, so I was thinking maybe just upload it and maybe watch more later. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Some of this is inspired definitely by like watching a lot of Jarvis Johnson do his like kind of bingo thing and his factor fiction thing on Twitch. I think that stuff's pretty cool. If there's another element to this that can be added, please let me know. Otherwise, if you were entertained by this, or you thought it was cool, or you like what I'm doing here, leave a like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming. Peace out. And enjoy your Halloween.